Hey all my friends, my name is Chuck Collins and I am the CEO of Together We Grow AZ, Sustainable Gardening and Solution Specialist, and today we'd like to talk to you about keeping your gardening systems cool during the desert heat and the hot summers. If you amazing folks haven't already done so, please take a quick second to click subscribe, click like. You'll make sure that you get updated and you'll be alerted with all of our brand new videos, and we sure do have a heck of a lot of them coming out soon. Especially during this time of the year, during this climate, we try to teach you the most affordable ways and the most efficient ways. Keep your costs down, keep your yield high in your gardens, but we need your help in order to do that. Even if possible, become a member. So without any further ado, let's talk about keeping your hydroponic or aquaponic systems cool during the hot, sweltering desert summer months. Maintaining a proper root and leaf temperature. Now mind you folks, remember that root and leaf temperature of your plants is of the utmost importance for their overall health and for the overall bounty of your harvest. As well as pH and just nice, clean, good nutrient solution, temperature is so important just for the overall well-being of your plants. So before I go any further, please check the packaging that you got your seeds on, or even give a quick Google for your plants to see what plant's roots want what temperature and what plants you can grow together. That way you'll be able to form your own unique partnering system in your garden in order to get the most out of each and every plant. So today's first system or cooling system that we're going to talk about, form of cooling, is going to be active cooling. That involves some type of refrigeration unit, usually of some type of high or medium type of power source. So we're talking about something like an air coolant system or a water coolant system. Now there are a variety of water chilling systems that you can get on the market. Go to a big box store, do your own research. They're not cheap. They're not cheap. For a considerable one, a nice size one to take care of a system, say in this instance, a 27-gallon reservoir right here, you're looking at between, I think, $250 and $325 US dollars. So to me, that's not cheap. But I will show you an example of that. And I'll also tell you the pros and the cons to that. So the first one we're going to look at is a powered active system. Let's go. Now in our case, we're using the Active Aqua Hydroculture Water Chiller. And we'll be using, I think this is a 2.5 gallon reservoir as our water receptacle to show you guys how this system works. In an active chilling water, in an active chilling or water cooling system, you would use a water pump to move water through a tube from the reservoir into the chiller. It would then go through the radiating liquid cooling process or chemical cooling process inside of the chiller or inside of the cooler. Guys, don't make me go into details about this. If you're in the HVAC, you know this better than me, so feel free to share the info, but I'm just giving my layman's version of it. Once it goes through the powered chilling system inside, like I said, a series of radiators, things of that nature, it then comes back out from the exit line and it goes back into your reservoir, thus chilling the system. Now when we initially started this system today, once again this is a 2.5 gallon reservoir. When we initially started this, I believe it was 93 degrees, or the water was 86 degrees, it was 93 in the room, and this was maybe 15 minutes ago. So, and I had set the chiller for 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it bumps back up to 78 because it has a plus or minus negative of 3 degrees. So this is still in the comfort range. Now the pros to a system like this, sure, it works, but there are so many other parameters that you have to keep in mind. It's not cheap. Like I said, this is around between 250, 325, something like that. And I believe this is a quarter horsepower, or no, not a quarter. This is a 10th horsepower unit. So this isn't even a powerful one. And like I said, that's one of the pros. The pros is that you do have immediate cooling. So if you have a small station, a small unit, and it's not too hot outside whatever the area this unit is in, this machine is in, then this works. This is great for you. So if you have an indoor application where you have to keep your reservoir a little bit cooler, this is great. When you're out in the desert, when you're out in the desert like we are, and the temperatures are going to be 110, 115 degrees Fahrenheit for the next 2 or 3 days. And I'm serious. Today's Tuesday. So today's Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, not joking. In my backyard, it's going to be between 110 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. This thing can't keep up with that type of heat. It can't cool that fast. So in that instant, active cooling is not really going to be what we need. Active power cooling isn't going to be what we need in our backyard applications. The next system, or the next style of cooling that we're going to go over, is good old ice cubes. You know what they say, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Sometimes, when it comes to cooling, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Now, this is a Rubbermaid meatloaf tray. Yeah, I try to stay inventive. Looks like the sun's blocking me out too. I try to stay inventive and creative, and I try to use things that we already have around the house. Now, I actually use these Rubbermaid trays to hold ice and to create larger volumes of ice, bodies of ice, when I was deep into training for running a marathon, because I needed something to cool my muscles down quickly. Lo and behold, this also works great for a hydroponic system. Now, in an outdoor environment like we're using right here, I've noticed that if you have a covered reservoir, all right, pardon me, let me just go back for a second. Let's talk about the positives. Cheap. It's frozen water, guys. It's not even a lot. If you don't have the little silicone meatloaf tray like I have, but I believe these guys are 3 for $9.99. I'll actually put a link below in the video a little bit later on. But these things come in handy. And I don't want to open it right now because I'm actually going to use it in this system later. These just peel right out. And I like how it gives you like the bullion shaped brick. It's pretty freaking dope if you ask me. Now, I realize in our applications, because we're using covered reservoirs in our applications, and we're controlling the amount of exhaust, but that's a different story with a different type of cooling unit. But in our systems, rule of thumb, if it's a covered reservoir and it's hydroponic or aquaponics, and hydroponics, so I wouldn't just throw ice in a fish tank, it's one of these bricks per 5 gallons. And always go up. Always, I said always go up. You know what I mean. So, for this system, this is a 27-gallon system. If we're going to use one of these for every 5 gallons, we're actually going to use six cubes, 6 of these blocks in that system. And for the 17-gallon system over there, we are going to use 4 of the blocks. And trust me, the amount of cooling along with our fans is incredible. To be honest with you, this form of cooling, using the appropriate amount of ice cubes in that fan system, if you guys haven't done so already, check our past videos and see how we apply the fans that remove the uplifting warm air, air molecules from the water in our reservoir, which makes a much cooler water system and nutrient solution system for your hydroponic system. If you haven't done so, go back and watch those, and just imagine how much cooler these ice cubes keep it. Now, the pros to the ice cubes: it is a quick cool, but you also need that fan to keep that temperature down. Another negative is the larger volume of water that you have, the easier it is to maintain a temperature. So in the 17-gallon system, it is a little bit harder. In the 27-gallon system, I only have to refill this one every 2 days, and unless the temperature reaches above 110 degrees Fahrenheit, I won't even need ice. Like, I'm going to use this today because I know the next 3 days are going to be off the charts hot. See, it's so hot out here, this is actually sliding out of the brick. Look at that. But that's how easy that comes out of the brick. So it's going to be so hot out here that I know I'm going to have to keep this a little bit cool so I can get ahead of the heat tomorrow. So that's the number 2 form of cooling system, just straight up ice cubes. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. The third form that we're going to go through is actually our form. And this is a combination of passive, evaporative, agitated. So when we say agitated, we are actually using, let's take a little twist down here, is an air bubbler connected to air stones. And this is from an old hydroponic system that we had in the house. We're actually using this connected to 2 air stones in the bottom of this reservoir to agitate the water, which would be our nutrient solution in this reservoir, from the bottom up. So basically, it's stirring it up, it's agitating the water so that those weaker warm air molecules are quicker to rise to the top. As they rise to the top, this fan, the same type of fan we use in the tray system, quickly grabs those warmer hot air molecules and expels them from the top of the reservoir. Now, right now, this reservoir is reading 76.4, and I believe it's between 76.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and I believe it's between 76.2 degrees Fahrenheit, and I believe it's between 103 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit right now in my yard. So that's a 30-degree difference, and I'm not using an active power chiller. What I did this morning though, because I anticipated it getting a little bit warmer today. So what I did this morning is I actually, and I told you, I said for this 17-gallon tank, you always factor up. So that's, we'll go for like 20 gallons worth. So that's 4 cubes. So one of those ice cubes for every 5 gallons. When I replenish this tank, this reservoir, because it's a smaller reservoir, I have to do that every morning. All right, so keep that in mind. Please take notes, keep that in mind. When I woke up this morning, the actual temperature of the water in this reservoir from last night was 68 degrees, which was beautiful. Pardon me, 66 degrees, which was beautiful. The problem is I had to replenish 2/3 of the water in that reservoir, and I have to do that every day because it's a smaller body of water. So it evaporates and the plants soak it up, and it eats the nutrient solution a lot quicker than a larger one. So when I use the hose from the house to replenish this, to fill it up, immediately this water in this reservoir is going to go to the ambient temperature of whatever that tank is. So if we're dealing with 100+ degree Fahrenheit days, guess what the average temperature in that water hose is, even though it's in the shade? You're right, it's between 78 and 82 degrees every morning. So when I replenish this, this goes from 66 degrees and it shoots all the way up to 77, 78. So how do I bring it back down to a nominal level, something agreeable? Ice cubes. 4 ice cubes, and I did that early this morning, around 6 this morning, and now the temperature is just like I said, it's in the mid 70s, which is perfectly, and that's in the reservoir. So if I were to actually take the temperature gun and check the temperature of the roots are probably 67, 68 degrees. That's why you're able to grow winter greens year-round in the desert. I also want to take the second to remind folks of something, because I want to clarify something that I did here, and it's that winter greens love the frost. The leaves love the frost. No, they don't. The leaves tolerate the frost. The roots appreciate cooler ground temperature. That's why they thrive in the winter. Just a food for thought. Just food for thought. Yeah, the frost maybe gives the leaves weather, it gives the leaves flavor, because that's what I call it, because they can resist it. But you have to keep in mind that the leaves on a plant are actually telling you how that plant is adapting to the climate around it. It's not actually telling you how healthy that plant is. The roots will tell you how healthy that plant is. And it's just food for thought. Plant that first seed and together we'll grow. So let's keep going. Hold on one second. So let's take a closer look over here. Here's that air pump. So let's pop the side out over here. You see the bubbles? That's from the two air stones that are on the bottom of the reservoir. And all this do is just blowing air out, taking the hot air from out here, which is still in the shaded area, and it's pushing it through that water. It's agitating those other warm air molecules on the bottom. It's forcing them up so that they can be expelled a lot easier from here. And we can control the rate that the water is going through the system from the water emitters that we have on top. So I really love this system. Another thing I wanted to clarify about the living wall system, you don't need an emitter at each chamber, because the plants, the roots will sense that there's water in this fabric, and the roots will actually find their way towards whatever main channel that water source is coming down. So it's truly a fascinating system. If you get an opportunity to build one, which I highly recommend all of you do, if you get the opportunity, if you get a chance, it's not that expensive of a system. As a matter of fact, my good friend Mike Van Duzy over at Keep On Growing built an awesome style, his version of it, and mad props to him for giving us props and for giving us recognition on our system over here. We're glad that we can influence, man. You're doing amazing things over there, brother, in your immortal world. In your immortal words, just keep on growing, my man. Keep on growing. So regarding the ice cubes, like I said, you just pop the top and you just drop the ice blocks right in there. That's it. And that would be your maintenance for your system during the day. So you see how Mother Nature just popped that ice cube, right, that ice block right out of that silicone tray. All in all, it takes me about maybe 60 seconds, maybe a minute to drop all of the blocks inside of the system. And then I walk away and I just harvest what I want throughout the day. So it's not back-breaking work. I'm not killing myself out in the heat for any overextended amount of time. It's very fast, it's very efficient. It's growing with the desert instead of in spite of it. And that's what we try to get everyone to do. Together we grow. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's video about the different forms of system chilling and system cooling that we use over here at Together We Grow AZ. Maybe you guys are doing something different. Maybe you're using a different type of technique, maybe a different innovation. Please feel free right below. Please email us, text message below. Let us know what you're using, man. We enjoy the help. We enjoy the advice. More so, we enjoy you guys taking the time of coming out here and just hanging out with us. On behalf of my entire family, we'd like to thank every single one of you. And especially if you're in the southwestern United States, please, please, please be as safe as possible during these next 3 days. We really are going into a massive heat event. If you guys keep an eye on our channel while you're in the house in the AC, staying cool and staying hydrated, keep an eye on our channel, and we'll show you exactly how these systems are maintaining through this little heat wave that we're about to have. So on that note, guys, you take it easy. I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, please sign up. Please become a member. Check us out, man. Support what we're doing. Plant that first seed, and together we'll grow. Peace and blessings, my friends.